and you click on the
Gotta do that.
do
Sorry.
the Meet the Fellows, and then you scroll down all the way to the bottom of it. We have our different links for us to look at our Google Calendars and sign up for different appointments. And so the appointments, this is Emily's, and what it'll look like to you all. And for these appointments, we set them up as 30-minute slots, but you can sign up for multiple if you want more than 30 minutes. We ask that you probably shouldn't go over like an hour. Or if you do, just like let us know beforehand. But yeah, you can just sign up for any time. This has for certain days, you have to sign up for different appointments a certain time in advance. But if you wanted to do stuff for other times, I'd sign up for this. Yeah, just click it and then sign up, and we'll send you like the Zoom link and all that good stuff.
Lexi, can you open up this document that I'm popping in the chat real quick too, please?
Yeah.
So if you go into the GAP folder that you should all have access to, you'll see this document. This has a lot of contact info and other materials that you can have access to, but I just popped in the appointment schedules there as well. So if you don't have access to the Canvas page, you can find them there. But
We'll
yeah,
add
this will have
more of my stuff
materials,
on
our
here too.
schedule, that kind of thing.
And I'll add some nice more stuff too. Yeah, and a bunch of different resources.
Mhm.
Yay. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing that, and I will go back to our slides.
Yeah, it's 4:05. Good time to get going.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming to today. We're on week 3, last day of week 3, and we're gonna be going over email drafting today.
So just a quick review of the agenda as always. First thing we're going to cover is who to email and kind of some questions you might be wanting to ask them. Then we'll go over email structure, what needs to be included in your email, what's maybe not as important. And then we're just going to go straight into an activity for you to start pre-writing your emails and doing drafting. So this will be very similar to our Just Writes in the Swiss class. And then, of course, we will end with deliverables and next time.
Okay, so our first section is who do you email? And we're gonna have a bunch of different options and some of the benefits that come with talking to different people.
Yeah, so there's kind of two main groups of people that or two main reasons to email. The first one is emailing your PI or the potential advisor, right? And you're emailing them to kind of get to know who they are and find out if there's actually any availability in the lab. So, questions that kind of go with this, asking or thinking to yourself, are they going to be the mentor that you need? Do they even share like, the passion for your field that you are trying to get into? That was one thing that my mentor previously said. That was her advice for finding a faculty advisor. Is it easy to talk science with them? Like what gets you like where you just go on a tangent, you're so excited about your research. Can you have that with them? Because that's a great sign of somebody you're gonna get along with for years, right? And then yeah, availability, what are funding options? Are they willing to take in another student? Maybe they already have a full lab. Those are things you're gonna want to ask them, things you need to know. The other kind of group you're going to be emailing are grad students and your current mentors. And the reason why you want to ask them is because you want to get to know kind of like the background of the lab, maybe find out things that isn't advertised on the lab website, and maybe things that that mentor doesn't even really realize about themselves, such as certain mentoring styles, that kind of thing. You really want to ask the people who already know them and already know maybe the lab environment. So, maybe grad students, they already know what the funding situation is like. They have the inside scoop on that, right? What's the culture of the lab? Is that a place you're going to feel comfortable fitting in? What current projects are going on in that lab? it's not a bad idea, especially thinking about the GRFP, to talk to grad students, even previous grad students, about their projects, because they always love, like the application people always love when you say, oh, I'm going to build upon this existing project. I'm going to fill this gap that this project doesn't address yet. Things like that. It also, if you are able to do that, you're able to use everybody else's experience, everybody else's projects, just to kind of show that that lab fits what you need. They're going to have the resources that you need to go and do the research plan that you are developing and saying you're going to do in that lab. It gives you credibility, basically. But then you also want to know, like, life outside of the lab. Last meeting Tuesday, we talked about how location can matter, right? Things like that. Talking to the grad students, how do they like the area? Do they feel like there's enough, is there a good work-life balance? Is there enough to do outside of the lab? Any red flags? Maybe it's really hot. Maybe there's not, your favorite grocery store is nearby. Little things like that do matter. So they're going to be the ones you're going to want to ask those questions.
Okay, so next we're going to go into email structure. So there are a couple of main things that you want to do when you write an email, mainly for a PI, which is what we'll be focusing on today. And so the three main things you'll want to focus on are introducing yourself and explaining why you're emailing, explaining why you would be perfect in their lab, and then asking to meet in person or in Zoom. So when you introduce yourself to this PI, potential advisor, you can explain obviously your name, pronouns, the major that you have, the school you attend, putting in the current lab you're in and who your current PI is also a great way that they can connect with you, and they might even know your PI, which is always a good thing, and can maybe tell this person like, oh, I like your PI, so there's a larger possibility that I may like you and we may have similar interests as well. You should also mention what you're trying to get out of them, basically. So whether that be an RU position, or like hopefully being in their PhD program and helping them, or having them help you write your GRFP, write out exactly what you would like their help with, what that looks like. You can always have other documents that help illustrate that for like your CV or transcripts or any of those things that can help provide more context, but at least say what you're really looking for from them. Then after you introduce yourself, then you can go into why you would be perfect for their lab. So this is kind of what Emily was talking about, of the similar research interests and different projects that they're working on. You can talk about how maybe the project that you're currently working on is very similar to theirs and you would like to build on it. If you have goals that are very similar to what they're doing right now. So if they're a PI and they're also dean of their department or something, or dean of their college, if that's something you would also like to do, write that down and let them know. But generally just letting them know also your qualifications and the different research opportunities that you have had in the past that qualify you in having skills to be in their lab, and why you would also fit in on like a teamwork and lab cultural level as well is really good. So once you do all that, then you can ask to meet either in person or on Zoom. We recommend in person because that allows you to not only meet your PI and kind of vibe check them, but you can also hopefully look at their lab and see if any other grad students are there. So if you're having trouble reaching out to grad students, you can take a couple minutes and ask them questions. Sometimes when PIs invite you to look at their lab, they'll actually set up lunches with their grad students so you can ask questions. It might be like a lunch or a coffee or something, but just getting face to face with them, people in their lab, and then also like looking at the location of their lab if it's somewhere you've never been before, just getting a feel of what possibly living there would look like. If you want to do something like Zoom, you won't get the benefit of an in-person, but obviously it does allow you to be a little bit more flexible, and is not taking up as much time of the PI as going to visit in person. But either way that you decide to meet your potential advisor, you want to be very clear, give dates and times of when you're available, we recommend doing large chunks as well so that you can work around their schedule and see what time works for them.
So we actually went over this a little bit on Tuesday, but just a reminder on where to look for, this kind of information or, just general background information to help you as you build your emails. Um, Definitely check out the lab website. Not everybody is going to have one, but if they do, look at it, look at every page, really, just like you're doing a research project or a report on it, right? If they don't, maybe they have a LinkedIn. You can still learn a lot about a person from there. Grad students have pages sometimes. I've even found some of my labs have Instagrams, depending on how popular the lab is. Um, I kind of liked it because I thought it was, oh, it's kind of fun to see like what everybody's up to. Um, Ask your current mentors. Please, please talk to your current mentors. Mine saved me with this. They gave me ideas on, who the person was, who they recommended people to me. They even advised me to not work with others because they had already worked with them and knew they wouldn't be what I needed. So talk to those already in your circle. You can even find news clippings and interviews sometimes for people, but yeah, biggest one, lab website, and talk to your mentors.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go. That was a lot of information really quickly, which is why we're gonna go into the pre-writing and some of the drafting. If some of those ideas are difficult to figure out how you're gonna put those actually into words and into paragraphs, we can help you with that.
So I also showed you guys this on Tuesday. Just to review again, that these are some example mind maps. So the one is that my right, the one on the right that says Dr. Adrian Steyer. That is obviously for a faculty, that's for a lab. Trying to think about, what did I find from his website? How do those relate to me and what I want to do? How is his mentoring style? Those kinds of things. So that's never a bad place to start. If you still want to, if you haven't done that yet and you still want to, you can work on that today as a starting point. Um, but you can also do a mind map like the one on the left, and that one is breaking down my email. So I have, my three main headers. What do I want from them? Who are they? And who am I? Why should they care? So it's just like Lexi said in the slide, couple slides ago, those main ideas that need to be in your email, flesh those out. See how they relate, make sure you know the answers to them and you're going to address them. So that's something we can do as a first step. And then here's the second step. Lexi, do you want to do it or do you want me to?
You can do it since it's your draft.
Yeah, this is my draft. So the full example is linked at the bottom. This is also a document in the Gap folder called email/cover letter draft. As you can see, I have the basic. My name is Emily Donahue. I'm a senior here, majoring in this. I'm very interested in, blank, and your work on blank. So what you can see here, I made a template first before I actually started working on individual emails because you're going to be sending a lot of emails. And yes, you want them all personalized, but that doesn't mean you can't still build a template with the most basic information. So no matter what, I'm going to start off with my name is this, and this is my major, right? But yeah, so talking first about I am interested in your work here, specifically this, because of this. You don't have to include, this word like sentence by sentence, but I thought that was my way to try to say, I'm really interested in your lab and here's why. And then you see me going into, I plan to apply to your lab for a PhD degree. Always say degree. It's not just a PhD, it's a PhD degree, in etc., right? And saying when is important. So you see, for the fall 2024 semester. I am also applying to NSF's Graduate Research Fellowship this fall. I also really recommend including that. If they know that you are applying for it, maybe they can help you with it. Maybe they'll say, one of my faculty, he said, I don't have any funding for you, would love to consider you, but if you do get the GRFP, keep me updated. And so he already knew right off the bat that I was looking at that, and that was going to be an option to get into his lab. And then of course end with your little question. I put a little bracket here in the middle. You'll see on the for example, I have a lot in there. That's my section on, really fleshing out more why I'm interested in the lab and why he should care. There's pros and cons to making it that detailed. You don't want to go too long. I would not go any longer than ours are. But yeah, you can go a little shorter if you want. Just make sure you have all the important stuff in there. And then you see my little end piece. So would you be available to discuss the possibility of me joining your team? If this is acceptable, I listed my general availability below. You don't have to do for the next 2 weeks. You can just do for the next week and do whatever you want. But like Lexi said, under this, I had, a block of, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm free from 8 to 11 a.m. So I give them a block of time that they can then say, okay, how about Tuesday at 9 a.m. for 30 minutes? So they already know, and it's not, emailing back and forth, trying to schedule something. And then I go on to say, I also attach my CV and unofficial transcript. You don't need to attach your transcripts. You don't have to. That's okay. I chose to do so. You really don't need it though. I would recommend attaching a CV. The CV is going to help show more of your experiences, and then they don't have to ask for it. You're already giving it to them. You're showing them, you're taking that initiative, and giving them all the resources that they could possibly want to get to know you. And then of course, the thank you for your time and looking forward to meeting with you. So yeah, so this is just an example. You make it how, what fits you best. One thing we didn't really mention before is the response from a faculty. So, you may take a lot of time writing out this template, and their response might be a sentence. Don't take it personally. They are very busy. They responded. That's what matters. So it's okay. And if they don't respond, follow up. I recommend following up like maybe every week, every other week. Lexi, what did you do for follow-ups? I think I did every 2 weeks initially.
I think I did like a week or a week and a half, depending on if I knew someone who knew the PI.
Yeah, definitely follow up. They're very busy. And emails get buried. Even with us, I like last semester I always had my writing group follow up with me, send me emails, keep me updated. If I forgot something, send me an email. Don't just expect that they're going to eventually get to you. You don't have time for that. You have to take the initiative and keep trying, keep pushing. Don't worry, you're not bothering them. Every experience I've had, they are grateful that you keep trying. I've never had anybody get annoyed with me for following up. So, yeah.
Oh, just put the link. Sorry, I put the link for the document that Emily was just talking about. In the chat.
Haley had a great question. What should we say when we follow up? You don't have to say much. You can just keep it simple. Um, you know, oh, I'm trying to remember what I would say. I would just say, "Hi, I'm just following up on my previous email. I would still love to meet with you. Here's my updated schedule, for the next week." It really it does not have to be anything crazy. It's just to send an email so that they see it and they'll go back to your original email and read it.
All right, so we're going to take actually the last part of this meeting. Wanted to give you all enough time to actually try to draft your own emails, whether that be mind mapping the email and setting up your template. It could be working more on your PI wish list and bringing that into your email and figuring out your list of faculty. This is the time to do that. Emily and I will be here. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, ask, put them in the chat. We can set up breakout rooms so you can talk to us one-on-one, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I'm going to set the timer for, I think, 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
I think 25 is good.
25? Okay.
Let's do 25 and check in.
Okay, 25 minutes check-in. We'll do small wins. If you want to start a smart or do a SMART goal as well, you are welcome to do that. But yeah, we will start the timer. If you have any questions or want us to turn back to any slides, let us know. Yeah, okay. All right, so some of you worked on your list of faculty today, some of you worked on your PI wish list, but now you should be getting more progress on all the different products we have been talking about. So again, you should be hopefully working on these products outside of these classes, and we can always help you with any of that if you want to make appointments, come to our Just Rights, whatever you feel comfortable with. But you should be working on things like your list of faculty, your list of grad students, your CV, and then also, again, the PI wish list. Yeah. Yeah. So again, if you want to make, sorry, I'm like,
Go.
Yeah, this is reiterating what I just said. But if you want help with any of the things that we talked about today, specifically with the drafting of the emails or any of the wish lists or all those good things, we have our schedules right here. We showed you where they were on the canvas. We'll also be sending out an email tomorrow that has these links again in that. But we are accessible pretty much 5 days out of the week. So if any of the times don't work for you that we have for Just Right, make an appointment with us. You can make it 30 minutes or an hour, however long you would like, and we will meet with you one-on-one and work on anything that you like.
Gonna say too, if you would like to meet with both of us at the same time, that you can also do that. If you just want a lot of feedback, a lot of, different perspectives, just let us know. Maybe send us like a joint email. But yeah, so just once again, here's our little summary timeline. You can be working on those first couple of things, but not a super big priority right now. The big ticket item, CV, that needs to be wrapping up. I know, yes, have, a timeline that fits you, but this is just what we're recommending. Most of the other products I say you can work on as you can. But the CV and the emails, those need to get going pretty soon here. So CV, hi, and then emails, obviously we worked on that today a bit. If you want more help, talk to us. Hopefully try to get those out, in the next couple of weeks. Even by next week would be great. Because don't forget, they might not respond right away. So you gotta have time for follow-up and then to actually be able to schedule a meeting. That's why we're saying to try to do that as soon as you can. Personal statements and research plan as well, high priority. We will be starting personal statements next week. So get ready. It'll be good. Yep. Here we go. Next meeting, personal statements. So what we're gonna kind of do like moving forward is we're really gonna shift into working on your actual writing products now. The Tuesday meetings will be focusing on pre-writing. So we'll be doing a lot of activity during the class. So yeah, we'll review a bit, the personal statement, what does the, this section entail? And then we're gonna start doing mind mapping and pre-writing for it. And then the Thursday session is gonna be a little bit of review, but predominantly working on drafting a bit. This is a way more, elevated. That's only 2 hours, not even for these products. So you will need to do way more work outside of it. But we're just trying to have some time that you can work with us, ask us questions, and we can get you started on these. Mhm.
Yeah, these are more resources. We have these at the end of every gap session, but they are the NSF virtual office hours to ask more questions, again, are just right, and then also any materials that you may need for preparing any of your stuff. Have all probably heard this many times, but we're having this class on July 3rd because we're not having classes due to the observation of July 4th on July 4th. So the same time, which is 4 to 5, we will have it on July 3rd instead. If that time doesn't work for you, if you have something clashing because of the research that you're doing or a job, you can also come to Just Rights. Oh, Sarkness info. You have also heard about this many times. It is also on July 3rd. But it is 11 to 12. You can ask any questions you have about the conference, what is Sarkness, the applications, abstract things, and why you should attend. Are you asking about the Google invites for the Sarkness?
For the class, can you change the Google invite from the 4th to the 3rd? If it's not too much to ask for.
Yes, we can absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry, I just rely on that a lot.
No, thank you for bringing that to our attention. It's a great point. Forgot to do that. I'll do that right now.
With that, I think that's everything. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.